Well, hello everyone. It is Wednesday. Um, Let me just roll my D100 here. Uh, Last week, you guys had a combat encounter with uh, some of your characters' nemeses who banded together to form their own little party and try and murder all of you. Fortunately, the dice were in your favor, and you came out victorious out of that combat encounter. And Larissa Bloodthorn, uh, Amric Van Thamper, and Captain Zodge are now no longer of this realm. They have all perished. And you guys had a long rest in Kraleigh's familial home, and it is a new day. Um, After you all finally get a good night's rest, um, when you wake up in the morning, it seems as though Captain Lightheart has wandered off in the early hours. Um, can't remember. It's been a long week, and I can't exactly remember how we ended last week. But I believe you guys were on your way back to the barracks, right?
Yeah.
That's how I remember it.
Did you want to say anything to your mother before you left, Crayley?
Um, I just want to, I guess, give her a hug and say, thank you for. So sorry you had to deal with that, Mom. I'm I'm so glad all my friends were here and even some of our family to help in this odd situation.
Your mother gives you a hug back, and she goes and gives everyone else a hug as well. She says, I'm glad they were here too, and they are welcome anytime.
Agreed. You guys ever need a place to stay, more than welcome.
She and she says, and maybe the next time they come to visit, they'll all have their own rooms. I'm going to put those men that the Raven Guards promised us to work.
Sounds good. And, next time, hopefully we can just have a chill night. So,
uh, so the first part of the session, I think I'm just gonna like give you guys some time to. It'll be like a little bit of a downtime session, a little bit. You guys are level 5 now, and I know we sped through level 4 and 5 fairly quickly. I did that intentionally. I guess I'll just let you guys know kind of ahead of time that we'll slow down again, and we'll probably spend a fair bit of time at level 5, just so you're all aware. Um, for the time being, your characters all know that um, older Raven Guard plans on traveling to El Terrell soon. And Captain Leiter just told you that it's likely that Raven Guard will want you all to accompany him to El Terrell on that journey. But you're not sure quite when, maybe sometime in the next few days. Captain Lightheart is not at the barracks when you return. either. So the four of you arrive with Thirstwell. So it's kind of a downtime session. You're level 5 now. You have, I think, a few magical items that I don't know if any of you are going to use. So you would be able to liquidate or exchange those at the Silver Spire if you like. And if any of your other characters have any business they'd like to take care of in on the material plane while we're still here, you guys would be able to do that. So it's the early morning. You guys arrive back to the barracks. Oh yeah, like any RP that you want to do with each other as well. Before we move forward a little bit, you're welcome to do that as well. So you arrive back to the barracks. Even Misty is gone this morning when you all arrive. So it's just the four of you with Thirstwell still accompanying Dolos. 'Cause for the time being, he has nowhere to stay. You guys do pass by the Van Thampers' estates on the way back to the barracks. And you see, like, basically it's like surrounded with police tape. And there's like Raven guards still coming over the manor, basically. So Thirstwell, even if he wanted to return to his laboratory or to his estates, isn't allowed back yet, as the Van Thamper estates are still under investigation by the city. You guys make it back to the barracks, though. Today in Baldur's Gate, it is, even in the early morning hours, it's, you can tell that it's going to be actually quite a bright, sunny day. The fog typically rolling through the harbor is bare minimum, and probably in an hour or so will be likely non-existent. You can see ships when you arrive back towards the barracks, down in the harbor, kind of sailing past on the river, upstream towards El Terrell. You can hear, the bells going down by the docks as people seem to be, after the events of the last few days, kind of returning back to their normal business. Life goes on, and even though there were some horrific events the last couple of days with a lot of death and destruction, people have to continue with their lives. And on this bright day, it feels kind of like some of the tension of the last few days in the city is kind of washed off, much like the fog in the harbor. At some point in the next half hour or so, also, my girlfriend is going to show up, and she has never heard me dungeon mastering before, so that's gonna make me a little nervous, but she's not gonna interrupt. She's just gonna go do her thing in the other room. And but if I pause for a second, it's just because I'm saying hi to her. But otherwise, yeah, you guys are back in the barracks. Oh, did I not move the map? Yeah, you guys are back in the barracks, so you can talk about anything you like. I think your mic's out again, Kenna.
Oh no.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. I'm gonna have to move to this one for today, sadly. Okay. So right now, Sylvie is going through a real emo phase. He's just sitting lifelessly in front of a mirror and is just doing the whole Mulan thing with her dagger and just chopping off half of her hair.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Sylvie, are you
yeah.
okay? Sorry, I interrupted Dolus.
No, you go.
Are you okay, Sylvie?
Maybe eventually. And then I just keep trying to do stuff to get my mind off of it. I start like trying to attune to magical eye.
Do you need to talk at all? Are you okay?
It's been better. I just, keeping myself busy. Trying not to think about the things that happened. But thank you for asking. I do appreciate it.
Of course, I'm here, and I'm sure everybody is here for you, Sylvie, if you need to talk.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Same goes for you guys.
Thank you.
You know, I couldn't help but overhear a distraction might be needed. And with everything we just went through, I have an idea, so if you would like to help.
What kind of an idea?
Well, I need to run some errands over in the upper city,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been meaning to take a look at that bathhouse, the one that the other woman who almost died moved to. So, if you would like to join me, we can take a walk, talk,
All right.
raise some mischief.
Okay. I'm down for some mischief.
Okay. Well, follow me.
All right. And I follow. And then I turn and I go, do you care if we stop at the Silver Spire?
I think
Yes,
we should go there anyways.
Yeah, I can accompany it at least to the Silver Spire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a sec. My dad's calling, which is unusual. So,
Okay.
1 second.
Okay.
Possible. Yeah, it's possible I looked at it after. Right, sorry about that. Just inviting me to
How
Thanksgiving
good.
dinner.
Aw.
Woo.
Aw.
Oh yeah. So you guys want to sorry. Go ahead, Mavathor. You wanted to. You were suggesting
Well,
Silver Spire.
I was just gonna say, yeah, we should go to at least accompany them to Silver to Spire to see what they have.
Scrambling to find the name of that NPC.
Elandor.
No, I have that one.
Yeah.
But the bathhouse,
Oh.
the bathhouse woman.
Oh yeah.
Might have that
I
here
have no-
somewhere.
Somewhere. It was so long
Somewhere.
ago.
Oh, I got her. The Cormilla and the infamous Jabaz.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Jabaz is long gone, but Cormilla is the one who.
The bad.
Yeah. um. You know, Dolos, that you did receive some correspondence from Cormilla that you find in your that you find like I guess there's just some like mail on the table in the barracks, and there is a letter from Cormilla. There's like a brown envelope with that's got like a a wax seal in like this light blue wax, and there's like some little soap bubbles that are like coming up out of a bathtub, and she says, as promised, I'd let you know. The letter reads, where I'm find new employment. You can come with your companions anytime to see me at the Silver Sud. There are a lot of things named the Silver something in the upper city, you know.
Silver set. All right.
No, we'll change it to the Golden Bubble.
The golden bowl. All right.
I'm gonna confuse myself if I start naming everything the Silver something.
Golden Bub.
The Golden Bubble.
New ownership.
New ownership. Yeah. No cultists allowed.
Nice.
Wonderful.
So do you guys want to head to the Silver Spire before you head to for some relaxation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah. Get all the business out of the way, then we can have pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You guys make your way out into the city. I never even checked. Not that I'm going to do this if it's here, but I never even checked if this module has a random encounter table for the city. Doesn't look like it. You guys make your way back towards the upper city and towards the Silver Spire, which is just on the other side of the Hall of Wonders. When you enter into the Silver Spire, it looks like much like it did the last time. It's this large, as you find the sort of invisible door into the spire. There are long shelves that it's kind of like an extra dimensional space, and you can see as you enter a big circular central room with staircases and banners that like lead up to higher levels. There are long shelves filled with books and magical artifacts and objects all over the place in glass cases, and all kinds of eccentric wonders around. Last time you were in here, there were kind of like a museum of dragon's bones hanging from the ceiling. And this time it seems as though it's like a display of deep-sea creatures. So there's like a big display of Kraken's skeletal features, like hanging from the wall, but they're kind of animated, so they're like moving of their own accord. And there's like schools of skeletal fish swimming around in the air and stuff like that. A little halfling in a blue robe with an oversized wizard's hat kind of sneaks up beside you, and you hear the voice of a landor say, "Welcome! You're back to the Silver Spire. Down here, it's me."
Oh,
Hi.
What happened?
Oh, this is just my outfit for today. I like to, you know, change things up every now and then. Welcome back.
Understandable.
Are you here for business or pleasure?
as far as I know,
Biz.
business only.
Is this?
Business. Yeah.
I'm sorry I've been a busy man, Dolos. The last time you were here, I promised I would help you, dissect your condition. I apologize for not, being pertinent in my, appointment making with you. But while you're here, I could,
Well,
perhaps, investigate your magical mishap a little farther.
well, I mean, if you guys don't mind handling the finances, I wouldn't mind stepping away for a few minutes.
Well,
course.
let's do one thing at a time. You have something to exchange, I suppose, or a purchase you'd like to make.
We have several objects of magical value that we'd like to sell.
Well, you've come.
And
Go ahead.
I was curious if you had any armor, like magical armor, for sale.
We have magical everything here.
Heck, cool.
As a matter of fact, we've just got a fresh shipment in of mystery magical potions.
Ooh.
Ooh.
As you said, one thing at a time. And Mavathor will reach into, I assume, the party loot and pull out the various objects that we acquired.
What are you here to exchange?
This ring of spell storing, this rod of the Pact Keeper, a robe of eyes, and this living armor, which is half plate.
Armor, robe.
And the dancing sword.
Oh yeah.
I thought I'm gonna take that. Never mind. Yeah, I'll throw that in there.
I took it, but I didn't. I didn't realize it was a pistol.
Then yes.
You can take the dancing sword if you want.
No, I don't want it.
Okay.
And a dancing
It
sword.
reminds. It reminds you too much of him.
Ring of spell storing, the living armor, the robe of eyes, the dancing sword. What was the last one?
It was
The
Rod of the
rod
Pact
or
Keeper.
something?
Oh yeah, rod of the pack keeper. Yeah, rod.
I do have a quick question. That short bow +1, was it just a standard short bow +1? I could not remember for the life of me. I think it was just standard.
I don't remember
Thanks.
either. We'll just call it a standard +1 for now.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you.
Landor says, my, who did you kill?
That's a long
I think.
story.
I
I'd
think some
rather not talk
information.
about it.
Yeah, I think some information is best left untold.
He winks. He says, now are you sure you guys... Because you guys got 2 Ring of Spell Storings, right? Only one of you is keeping one of those? You don't... nobody else wants the other one?
I don't want it. I don't know about you two.
Okay, yeah, just making sure.
I am good.
It's a good caster item. He says, now would you like to exchange any of these for something of equal or lesser value, or would you just like a lump sum of coin?
What do you guys think?
What are the values of these items?
Yeah.
He says, well, let's just put them on the magical scales. I can give you some prices. And he walks over to a nearby marble podium with like a weighted scale on it, and he puts the ring of spell storing on there. He says, the ring you have here is worth 1,250 gold pieces.
Okay.
Oh wow.
He says, now, this breastplate here, this living armor, it is an odd object. He, like, pulls out a little circular piece of glass from one of his pockets in his robe, and he kind of leans over and he looks at the scales, and he says, it's slightly cursed. The market for this kind of thing can be a bit unusual at times. Not the sort of character I particularly often like selling to, if you know what I mean. Although every now and again, one of our objects does make it into unscrupulous hands, I prefer not to allow anyone who means ill will to the world at large to make any purchases here at the Silver Spire. I could give you 1,000 gold for the living armor. I want to be completely honest with you. You could probably find someone to purchase it for a greater value. However, I'm going to store it in a safe place where it cannot be used for evil intention.
I'd rather it
Sounds
be out of
fair.
our sight.
Yeah.
Please take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frankly, it seems like a lot of trouble to try and find a shady character to purchase it from us.
And it just smells really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might want to prestidigitate that before you sell it.
I think it's going to need a little more than that. He says, but I appreciate you letting it go, and I will perhaps give you a discount on something you'd like to purchase, as well as the 1,000 gold. Now, he puts the robe on the scales and says, this is quite a thing you have here. The reason I made my little comment before about who did you kill is because typically the type of person who gets their hands on something like this has seen some things, and that's no pun intended. And you see the little eyes kind of blinking as on the robe as he's weighing it. He says, the value of this item is great indeed. It comes in at 30,000 gold.
Oh,
I dare say that you could cover your expenses for some time. I don't know if you consider yourselves adventurers, but you could likely retire for the rest of your days in a little house down by the sea if you wanted to. This particular robe itself is so valuable because it has had magical enhancements. Its owner must have been quite powerful indeed.
What?
It also has a bit of a stench to it, but that isn't going to dissuade anyone
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
purchasing this item.
I wouldn't worry about that. What changes did they have made to the robe?
Well, it provides a more than usual protection that a piece of enchanted cloth might, and it would also offer some protections against magical spells as well.
Hmm.
So essentially, AC and the saving throw bonuses.
Oh my.
Sounds pretty good. What do you think, guys? Do you think we should
He's
consider it for?
Elandor says, just make sure that you don't go anywhere in bright light while you're wearing it.
Mm,
Yeah. What do you
mm,
think, guys? Should we keep it or exchange it for in-store credit?
That seems hella rare.
mm.
Uh,
If we were to keep it, who would wear it?
Mm,
Elandor says, we do have things of similar power here at the Spire. I wouldn't have trouble something to exchange you for it of equal value. Something that might be more useful to one of you.
would you be able to sell it quickly?
Yes, I believe so. Kent Road. The archmages there are always wandering in, stumbling around, looking for books.
how about we come back to the robe of eyes and you can assess these other two items for us?
Mhm.
He places the sword on the scales, and he said, "The sword here, a fine piece. These are my favorite, actually. The dancing sword is 2,000 gold." And I see you have a third vile object. Uh, although not as bad as the armor. This is another sort of specialized artifact. Although not all those that make magical packs. Howdy, partner. Although not all that make magical packs are ill-intended. It does take a particular character to get involved in the type of magic that would help you with this item here. I could 500 gold for the rod.
500 gold.
500, okay.
What do you mean by that? A certain type of character? What did this rod even do?
I think it was in possession of that warlock we may or may not have fought before, as he looks over at the store owner and been like cat elbows Tolos and be like, shut up, less he knows the better.
Just curious. My apologies.
Landor answers you anyways, and he says, well, there are these out there that, aren't necessarily gods, but even sometimes the gods themselves, if you're quite lucky, I suppose. Very rare circumstances would you make a pact with an actual god, but there are lower deities that one could call into the ether for, and perhaps their call could be heard, and they could make some agreement in exchange for power. these types of objects will help channel the power of a demigod, granted by a demigod or some other lower being. It's sort of like a priest's holy symbol, if you will. But it tends to drop characters that might not have the best intentions. It's sort of like a signal.
Okay. Yeah, we can get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
So for the robe, the ring, the armor, the sword, and the rod, 32, 4, 5, 35,000 total. It would take me a bit of time to gather that sum, perhaps a day or so. Of course, we could open a ledger for you and keep you on our books here as well. Or we could just go piece by piece here and find things that might be useful to you.
I was kind of looking to armor.
You did mention, well, let us head to that part of our emporium here. Follow me, everyone. And you see, like, Landor take out his wand, and he kind of waves it around, and a bit of magic swirls around him. And as he walks through the silver spire, he starts to grow taller. He says, "Sorry, I hate walking around this place with stubby little legs." And he just kind of like returns himself to his elven form. He walks down the long hall, past the central chamber, and off into a side room. Much like the last time you were here, when you went into the room with the swords all over the walls, there's like bodices with different kinds of armor on them. You see sets of plate mail, chainmail, studded leathers, all kind of along the edges of the room, with all different kinds of aesthetics. Elandor says, what are you looking for in particular there, Sylvie? Just something fashionable to wear around the city, or something more practical? Something to use in the heat of battle?
Probably something for battle. A little bit on the lighter side, though.
Ah, well. You have a look around. So let's see. You have, like, a bit of gold. You know, you can kind of, like, come up with our own stuff here. So if you were looking for armor that had, like, enhancements to abilities, if you're just looking for something simple that's like a +1, +2. At level 5 now, the next rung of, magical equipment, I was trying to sort of like get you guys decently equipped for the transition into the next part of the adventure. And because I think that access to magical objects will be a little more difficult down in hell. And I was going to try and do things more like, when you do come across magical items, have them be a little more like homebrewed, things that I like make myself and put a little time into. But you have a decent amount of gold here, where if Sylvie was looking for something that you kind of like customize a suit of armor for yourself here, almost a little bit, if you'd like to.
Okay.
And it'll just have, like, the more things that we add to it, it'll increase the gold cost. So you're looking for like a studded leather?
Yeah, just something with a little bit of an AC bonus and potentially a charisma bonus. So my spell save DC is a little low.
Alandor says, we just had some high fashion elves in from the Feywild. I invited them to my home personally, and they told me stories all night of their lands. They did, however, bring me something quite special. Have you ever heard of
I'm sorry, what?
Glamerweave? It is a new fabric that the elves of the Feywild have been experimenting with.
I have not heard of that.
He brings you a suit of plain-looking leather armor. Although the leather is kind of like a light gray, it's sort of velvety to the touch, and
Ooh.
has these metal studs all along the front and back, probably the size of like silver dollars. He says, this looks like it might suit you well. Why don't you try it on?
Sylvie does a little sim transformation.
So as Sylvie is putting this studded leather on, what is she thinking?
She's not really that much of a girly girl, but I feel like in this moment she's acting like a girly girl, but she's trying not to show it at all.
But what are you
And
what is Sylvie kind of thinking about though in this moment?
honestly, I feel like despite like everything that's going on, it's kind of a distraction for her. And I don't know. I feel like it's just giving her something else to think about, other than what she's going through right now.
Hmm. So you're just like really focusing on what's going on in the moment.
Yeah.
So when you put it on, the leather conforms to your body like a glove. It fits you very well, almost like it was made for you. And he says, "Oh, it looks excellent. Why don't you give it a try? Think of something beautiful. Really concentrate. Really concentrate on it."
She thinks of almost like one of those like ballet dancer, like lyrical dancer flowy dresses with like the oh, what's it call it, or what do you call it, the chiffon, is that what that fabric's called, like the really translucent stuff?
Mm.
It's like a lavender color.
You start to think of that. You kind of close your eyes and you start to think of that, and when you think of the lavender, um, lavender was kind of one of the predominant colors on that butterfly pendant that you gave to that little girl, and when you're thinking of this gown, Landor says, "Now don't be shy. Give us a twirl."
She awkwardly twirls.
As you
Yeah, let's
twirl,
give an applause.
Yeah.
as you twirl, uh, you know, in like Hunger Games, when she comes out to the stadium for the first time in the carriage, and her armor
Mhm.
like burns away or whatever, and it, as you twirl, there's kind of like a lavender flame that wreathes around you momentarily, and as you spin, the armor kind of expands out into this dress that you're thinking of, and then the flame kind of spins around and coalesces into a bunch of little lavender butterflies that are now like flying around you. And Elandor like gasps with delight. He says, "Oh, I hadn't tried it yet. That is magnificent. The elves of the Feywild never
Oh.
fail to disappoint." This is Glamerweave. It will conform to whatever image you have for yourself in it. You can sort of change the way you look at will. It will still offer you protection in battle, regardless of however you've transformed it to look like. So, you know, it gives you that Feywild flair while you're swinging your sword.
Okay.
You look stunning, Sylvie.
Thank you.
You
How
look
much?
gorgeous.
How much would this garment cost from our
Mhm.
in-store credit?
Seeing as you kindly let the this vile carapace go, he like places the living armor where the studded was. I'll give you a discount on this piece, and it'll be 1,000 gold. It's also a +2 studded leather armor.
Okay.
You know, Orlando, what is the retail price of this?
Yeah, no, I'm curious.
Without the discount, I'm
Yeah.
sure that I could upsell this Glamerweave for 2,500 if I wanted to.
Pretty good. Pretty good deal.
But for my favorite customers, I will give you a deal. And I do say that to everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that covers you for now. Anyone else? I do have a bit of Glamerweave left.
I mean,
He looks at Mavathor. He says, "You could do with some. You could do with some sprucing up. I'm just going to be honest."
Mavathor. Mavathor.
never thought.
I don't tell you how to live your life. You don't tell me how to live mine.
That's fair. That's fair enough.
But as an aside, would you by chance have anything in store that would perhaps augment my clerical abilities?
If you have something that you use as your holy symbol, or something that helps you channel through your god, we could have it enchanted for you. It wouldn't take me much time.
I
Oh,
don't.
sorry, Sylvie. Also plus. What's your charisma at right now?
It's at 14.
Well, +2 charisma as well then.
Yeah.
Yeah. +2 AC, +2 charisma for your armor.
Thank you.
Otherwise, let me think.
Well, I do already have an item that I use to channel my divine power, but it is already enchanted, so...
What are you using as your spellcasting focus?
He is using the shield.
Ah. Garga says, "Yeah, don't let this guy touch me."
I wasn't planning on it. I was just letting them know how it is.
Yeah. Well, let's see. What else? What else do we have here? Are you looking for some sort of crown, a necklace, a ring, a bangle?
An amulet, mayhaps.
We have some
Ooh.
dainty toe rings that were just crafted at the Hall of Wonders. Perfect for a beach vacation.
And those are supposed to help me how?
Oh well, they're magical, of course. In what way would you like your spellcasting abilities enhanced?
If it could make it harder for creatures to resist my spells, that'd be nice.
It can be difficult sometimes to enlist the help of the weave in altering the relationship that people have with their divine beings. But I believe that we could come up with something to help you. I know. I just remembered a particular item that I have tucked away. Let me see. And follow me. And he goes to another room that's full of amulets, belts, accessories. He says, "Where is it? Where? Here we go. Here we go." He finds a large platinum chain that has a big fat square ruby in the central spot. He says, "This object will serve the purpose you seek, I believe. This would allow you to impart weakness in a creature's magical defenses a few times per day. You could use this in conjunction with a spell to impose disadvantage, if you will. It will also offer you some protection in the form of health as well."
That all sounds very tempting. What's the price of this amulet?
Its power is fairly strong. I would say that, in plain speaking terms, 3 times per day, you could use this in conjunction with a spell to impose disadvantage on a saving throw, if we're speaking in mechanical terms here. It will also give you 15 temp HP every day at dawn, as well as proficiency in Constitution saving throws if you are already not proficient. But this object will cost you 5,000 gold.
I'm sold.
Yes. Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Does this item have a name? If anything.
I'm sure that you can come up with something.
My lucky charm.
Thank you for speaking plainly, Alandor.
Yes, and now here, let me christen you with this spiritual bling, and he puts it over your head.
It looks wonderful.
Spiritual bling.
Brings out your eyes. You're down to 29,000 gold.
Ooh, only?
Sorry, 29,500, sorry.
Mm.
I wouldn't want to skim off the top.
You know,
Although I do accept tips.
it,
Uh,
understandable.
Let's see.
Elandor,
What do you have left here? Yes, Dolos, yes.
you said you had some more of that Glamerweave, right?
I do have enough Glamerweave left, yes, to imbue it
I mean-
upon. It doesn't have to be a piece of armor. You can have mittens, a scarf. It could be anything, really.
Scarf.
I mean, I just need some new clothes, and some armor would probably be good. These robes are
I
about
could,
to
I
turn
could,
to
I could
at any
have,
point.
matching coats made for you and your friend here.
Oh,
I mean, I think that would be wonderful.
I would love that.
Just make mine a suit and not a dress. I mean, fashion comes in all styles, and whether it be race or gender or class, I think it can be whatever.
hmm
They're too.
He pulls out like a little whistle from under his robes, and he blows it, and it chirps like a little bird, and there's like a puff of smoke nearby his head, and a couple of little fairies pop out, and one of them's like, "You rang, Alandor?" And Alandor says, "Yes, we're going to need some garments woven. We have some high-paying customers here. Make it snappy. Why don't you just tell them what you'd like there, Dolos, and they'll get started for you."
Well, as far as the modifications, I would prefer them to be the same as Silver got.
Would you like an elven cut or something more traditional?
I think something more. I think I would go with Elven. I think I've started to learn how there's a lot of beauty within it.
Elandor says, use the new Glamerweave we just got in. Use as much as you need. And the two fairies, one starts like flying around you. They take out like a little fairy size like measuring tape. She like looks up at you and she says, "Hold this, please." And you pinch the end of it like between your fingers, and she like rolls it down from your shoulder to your hip. She says, and then you see the other one doing the same to Thirstwell. And then they like puff away in a little puff of glitter. Won't take them long. They're very proficient.
Shit.
Did you want them to have any magical effects?
Yeah, the same that Silver got, the AC and the charisma bonus.
Ah, okay. That'll be another 1,000 GPs. Down to 28.5. Well, things are moving along nicely here. How else could I help you today? Are you sure you don't want a pack of mystery potions?
I know it may seem like a dumb question, but what does it mean by mystery potions?
So just like you pick one and what you get is what you get.
Yeah.
Well, there was something about the way that they were brewed that makes it extremely difficult to identify. So far, there have been no negative side effects from any of the potion's consumptions, but you never know.
Ooh. Well, how much does the pack cost?
We're selling them in vials of 6 for 500 gold, and we've seen everything from the effects of an enlarge reduce to a greater heal spell. We've seen plenty of restorations. Someone was flying around here for an hour or so after they drank one.
They drink it in the shop.
Oh, well, once they've purchased it, there's nothing you can do.
Now that sounds like fun.
Let's do it.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I don't even know where they came from. They just showed up one day, and we put them on display.
You know, why question a good time?
Zach,
How many would you like? How many sets would you like?
One for each of us?
Oh.
Or maybe less.
Four sets. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sets of mystery potions would be 2,000 gold. And so if you want to buy those, it'll be you'll each have 6 mystery potions. That's what you can put on your character sheet.
so
Mystery potions will be resolved when consumed.
Okay.
Just spend your fantasy gold, guys.
Yeah.
I
Clearly,
am-
do you want anything?
Yes, actually.
yeah.
Well, yes.
Yes, Riley.
I am curious if you have anything to help maneuver the battlefield a little easier and maybe any, utility arrows, to speak plainly.
As a matter of fact, we do. He
dear.
stays in the same room. You can see there's like on one wall there's like shelves of boots.
Ooh, no boots though.
No boots.
No boots.
Crayley
Crayley wants to walk in their bare feet.
He says, "All right. Well, how about a belt then?"
That works.
What did you say? Battlefield maneuver.
Yeah, just something.
And what was the other
Make it
thing?
easier to, to speak plainly, utility arrows.
Utility arrows.
Something that can help strategically in our future endeavors.
He says, it just so happens that one of the elves that was here that brought the Glamerweave was a master Fletcher, and he unloaded some of his special edition arrows on me as well. But let's handle maneuverability first. And he heads over to the other wall where there are some belts kind of draped along the wall. He says, here, let's see. Maneuverability. What's that spell called? That's like Misty Step, but it does damage when you use it.
Oh, thunder or something?
Yeah,
Thunderstep?
Thunderstep.
Thunderstep or something?
Yeah, Thunderstep.
Yeah.
Thunder wave? Thunder something.
I wonder if that's
It's Thunderstep.
Yeah, Thunderstep. He pulls like a thick blue leather belt off the wall that has like metal studs all around it, kind of like a Hot Topic belt, you know. And on the front clasp is a big lightning bolt. And he says, "This will get you out of a pinch in a hurry." And he hands it to you.
And how much would this be?
Let's see. This here will be 1,500. It will allow you to cast Thunderstep 3 times per day.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Braylee, you like the Energizer Bunny.
Oh.
You know, I was just thinking the same thing.
Now, I will say that there is a small chance for some static shock, but it shouldn't bother you too much.
Appreciate the heads up. 1,500 seems good, and I kind of glance at everybody, and
Yeah.
that's okay.
Mhm.
Cool. I will buy that Thunderstep belt.
2,700. All right, let's deal with utility. Could you be more specific?
Trying to think here.
He says, I can tell you at least I have, one quite devious arrow. I only have one of them, and it is a bit expensive for a single shot. But I do have an arrow of banishment. It could take care of a big problem in a hurry for you, though.
How much would something like that cost?
This arrow be 1,000 gold. The DC for the spell when it strikes your target will be a DC 17.
Ooh, but that's really good though.
That is.
So it'll if you hit with it, it'll also cast a banishment spell. DC
Gotcha.
17 that doesn't require concentration.
Gotcha.
That's the big boy. But
Okay.
I have some things that might be more useful to you, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or maybe not more useful, but useful as well. Let's see. Utility. We have an arrow of fog cloud. If you need to conceal yourself.
Ooh.
Let's see. Utility. We have an arrow of darkness. Most certainly, those are quite useful, especially if you have the capability of seeing through magical darkness.
And how much would that fog, cloud, and darkness arrow cost?
100 and 200 respectively. We have some more offensive options as well. But if you're just looking for utility, we have an arrow of web. That would be 200.
200?
Let's see.
Well,
we
I
have
definitely.
we have an arrow of blink. You could transport directly. This could help with your mobility as well. Transport directly to your victim,
Or ally.
or ally, I suppose. Wherever you fire it, really. Just don't go shooting it into any lava.
Thank you. And those 200.
300 for the blink arrows.
Well, I would be curious. Well, not curious, but I do wish to purchase maybe a few blink and web arrows. And that arrow of banishment. I don't know, y'all, if that's okay to spend an additional 1,000.
I
We're
think
treating
that's good.
ourselves today.
We're having our shopping day.
Hmm.
Okay. I will buy that arrow of
Uh,
banishment and then
How
web and
many
blink.
web and blink arrows would you like?
I'll just do 3 of each. That seems reasonable. Maybe 2 blink, 3 web. Yeah.
Mhm.
3 and 2.
12. 2,200 total. We'll call it 2,000 just so I can do easy math.
I do have one additional request.
What's that?
Those maybe less than favorable items that we have sold to you, could you potentially keep those off the books that we sold them? And
Those are
I'll offer
going
a
to
tip.
go. Those are going to go directly to the Hall of Wonders to be disassembled.
Okay.
They use
And there
them
will
in.
not be
Teaching class for new artificers.
And there's no way for them to be associated with us then.
They don't ask questions about where their material comes from.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, and I'll offer 10 gold. I don't know if that's an insult for his level of sales, but
Feels like we've barely made a dent in all the
I know. I don't
funds
know
that
what
we
else
have. We
to
still have
buy.
23,000. Well, I guess Matt will say.
He says, well, oftentimes when people acquire an amount of wealth that they're not prepared for, they often forget that there are plenty of magical objects and items out there in the world that are more useful than for just wearing and swinging around, decapitating your foes and protecting yourself from magical attacks. There are plenty of things that are just for fun, or that can be used more practically. We have things like pop-up fortresses, animal companions that you can carry around as a little stone in your pocket. There's all kinds of things that could be used in all sorts of creative ways.
While we're on the topic of armor and such, I suppose I could use an upgrade to my armor. But
Yeah.
how about we make this one truly magnificent? Assume that we can use most of our funds for this piece, assuming everyone's okay with that.
Yeah. Go for
As long as
it.
we keep a decent amount,
Mm-hmm.
like around like 5K.
He says, well, there is a free bag of holding with any single purchase over 10,000 GP.
Yeah, we already exceeded that, so
any single purchase, and I don't think you've quite spent 10,000 yet.
oh well.
thank you for correcting us.
Oh,
By all,
you have actually. You have spent exactly 10,000. But...
by all means, what
What is
any
it you were,
particular?
What is it you were looking for?
A piece of armor, perhaps that would satisfy the requirements of 10,000 GP.
um. Well, it just so happens that I don't. Maybe you didn't notice it in the corner. It's hard to see sometimes. It sort of absorbs the light into it. Let's head back to the armor room. And Landor heads back the other way. And in the corner, there's a suit of armor that you do sort of notice right away now as you enter. The plates on the bodice are like a deep red, and it does seem like it almost pulls the light of the room into it. Now I know it does have a sinister aesthetic to it, but this was not acquired or used by any malvalent force. It was just a graduation project from one of our most recent artificers at the Hall of Wonders. He put a lot of blood and sweat into it.
I hope you don't mean that literally.
Well, the
Right. Less questions, the better.
The architect of this piece was a passionate fellow, and as you can see, it is of dwarven design, and you can see like the armor's kind of squared off in places. It looks like kind of stumpy a little bit, but it would fit you. You're a half plate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a +2 half plate of invulnerability that will not give you, what is it, disadvantage on stealth checks.
Ooh.
And it'll give you Devil's Sight as well.
That's really good.
Shut up and take my money.
That's awesome.
And why not? Let's give you force resistance as well.
Ooh.
Never thought. I know who I'm standing behind in a battle.
Yep.
I
Have a
just
shake.
write that all down.
And he says, you'll be happy to know that 20% of the proceeds of the sale will go to help orphaned dwarven children.
Oh.
Oh, that's really good.
So I don't remember all the things that thing did, so I hope you write it down.
I'm like scrambling to like do 3 things at once. All right. Got the half plate +2.
+2 invulnerable.
Vulnerability.
No disadvantage on stealth.
Force resistance.
Devil Sight, so you can see in magical darkness out to 120 feet. And force resistance. Then this piece will cost you all 11,000 GP.
Take it. Take it. Take it.
Take it.
Which brings you down to 14,000 still.
Oh my.
So if you are interested in any other kinds of consumable objects, things that might help you in a pinch, we'd be happy to deal in those kinds of things. Otherwise, if you're happy with your purchases, then I could assist Dolos in assessing his current condition. But we have
Oh,
things
yeah,
like,
that.
chimes of opening.
I guess I have one question.
Certainly.
If Crayley's being picky. I present the short bow +1 and ask, any chance this could be transferred to my original longbow? And I present my just standard longbow. And how much would that be?
I could enchant your regular longbow for you at no cost, really.
Oh, well then in return you can have this short bow.
I would have to have it sent over to the Hall of Wonders, but they could have it done by the end of the day.
I can agree to that.
It's your mother's longbow, right?
Yes.
He says, yes, if you return this evening, it should be done by then.
Understood. I appreciate that.
He says, do you want it returned to you just as is? You don't want any improvements to the wood or the string? Just a magical enchantment?
It holds a lot of sentimental value, as is, but I guess it does slightly depend on the cost. I don't know why I had an accent there.
It wouldn't cost anything just to improve its quality a bit. If it has sentimental value, then we can just do the enchantment for you and have it returned.
Trying to think what to say. I guess if you can. How do I put this?
A magical enchantment upon a mundane item will, in itself, make the object much more durable.
Okay. Could you do something to it to remind me, maybe an extra carving or something, of my mother's tabaxi heritage?
Oh. Do you happen to know exactly where your mother was born?
I actually
Tabaxi heritage
do
is
not.
unusual. Tabaxi, I suppose you could say that their heritage is, each Tabaxi tribe has their own heritage. So depending on where she was born, it could alter the design, I suppose you could say. We do have records of many of the Tabaxi tribes through time, and their origins. So
I feel like Crayley should know the answer to that, and I'll be honest, out of character, I do not.
Many of the original
have them-
tabaxi come from the Moonshay Isles to the west. I could I could actually probably use the bow itself to perhaps discover something about her lineage.
I would greatly appreciate that.
It might take
And,
a little extra time.
That is totally understandable. And for the extra work, I would like to offer an additional 10 gold.
Well, I'll be candid with you. Ulder Ravengard was in here just the other day, and he purchased a bow. I happen to believe that that purchase was for you.
Oh. Can I ask bluntly what gave you that impression?
Well, he was quite particular about its design. He was very forthcoming about who it was for. And he wanted it to be sentimental as well. And so he gave me some detail about the way it should be crafted. However, I can contact him and let him know that you've come here with your bow, and perhaps he and I can come up with something together. Don't worry about the extra work.
I would appreciate that. This particular bow, due to its sentimental value, holds greater importance.
Yes,
But
of course, I
I
understand.
appreciate his sentiment,
I wouldn't want
and I will let him know.
I wouldn't want Ulder to embarrass himself. If he can do something more meaningful for you, then I'm sure that he would be delighted to.
Thank you.
He snaps his fingers, and another fairy pops out of nowhere, and he says, "Have this taken to the high halls immediately. Be quite careful with it. I'll have your wings if you damage it." And the fairy's like eyes go wide. She like holds out her little hands and like uses a bit of magic to like gingerly hover it in the air, and then she like
He would not have your wings. He would not have your wings.
she like disappears in a little
I mean,
shower of
fairy wings are very profitable.
sparkles. And he says, "I think by sometime tomorrow, we should be able to have the work finished for you. I'll have it sent to the barracks. That's where you're staying still, correct?"
Correct. I still do wish to give the short bow +1,
Oh, certainly.
regardless.
If you would
Yes.
like, I could, when it's sold, I could also have the proceeds of this go to, much like the
The dwarven.
the orphan dwarven children. Yes.
Yes,
Oh.
please.
I don't know why there's so many dwarven orphans right now, but they're all over the place. Yeah.
I mean, dwarves love their war.
Um. So you do have quite a bit of coin left. If there's anything else that you could think of that you might want to leave the Silver Spire with, I am more than happy for more business. Otherwise, I will have your clothing and your bow finished and sent to the barracks when they're done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But if there's nothing else, I suppose, no other potions, no odds and ends, I could get the rest of your gold. It's down to a more manageable point now. I think I could have it down to 1,400 platinum and placed in your complimentary bag of holding.
Sounds like a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And are we okay to hang out while you help Dolos?
Oh, of course, yes. Why don't you all follow me? And well, that's up to Dolos, I suppose.
Are we okay to hang out, Dolos?
I mean, just gonna say, I think this should be a more private matter with, you being a very difficult thing for me. Actually, if there's both to stay with you guys, I think that might be best.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Very well. Well, you're all welcome to hang out in the lounge if you'd like. There's complimentary food and drink there. You could grab a book to busy yourselves. It shouldn't really take too long. I'll be able to have an answer for Dolos's condition without much effort. But,
Be safe, Dolos.
Sounds like he wants doctor-patient confidentiality.
Yes.
So Alandor heads with Dolos to his private studies in the spire, leaving you guys to hang out and wait for a little bit. Let's see, we started at 6:30, so it's 8 o'clock now, so we're about halfway through the session this week. Let's take a little 5-minute mid-session break.
Wonderful.
Sounds good.
So
Some
I'll BRB. Catch you in a minute. Huh? No, Khaleesi is not being gentle.